Well, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Apostate of Allah. Today we're going to talk about child marriage in Islam. Well, not so much me. I'm not going to be the one talking about it too much. I'll read a Quran verse, bring up a couple hadiths. I have two tafsirs. And I'm going to have some very nice dawagandists give our thoughts. So, let's begin. Chapter 65, verse 4. As for your women past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months, and those who have not menstruated as well. As for those who are pregnant, their waiting periods end with delivery, and whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make their matters easy for them.
Alluding to it before, which is that we have social constructs. Social constructs, not the kind that the feminists and the ones on the far left are talking about, which is that they say sex is a social construct, or like, for example, Judith Butler said sex itself, biological sex, the penis, in a sense, is a social construct. We're not talking about that. We do have some social constructs. And ironically, I think the social constructs are those things which cannot be empirically justified. And I think one of those things is the idea of childhood. I'll be totally honest with you and tell you, how do we determine what is a child? I mean,
you heard right. You heard him right.
Just at the Quran, you will get the indication that you can have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. The reason why it's haram to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old is not found in the Quran at all. If you just read the Quran, it is halal, it would be halal to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. Chapter 65, verse 4. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us who you can divorce and who you cannot divorce. And then He says, وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِدْنَ, and the ones who had never been pubescent before. And by the way, this is very important, yeah? I want all Muslims to be aware of this. The reason why we don't have sexual intercourse with 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds or whatever is not because of puberty. Wait a minute, what did you say? It's not because of puberty, because that verse in the Quran actually says lam yahid. They never had puberty before. You can't go around that. The Quran doesn't say anywhere in the Quran that the woman has to be pubescent. I dare you to find one verse in the Quran where it says you're not allowed to marry someone based on harm, or you're not allowed to have sexual intercourse based on harm, or you're not allowed to marry someone based on puberty. Get me one verse in the Quran which says the woman has to be pubescent. You know, in the Quran it says حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمْ أُمَّهَاتُكُمْ. It says you're not allowed to marry your mum. It says you're not allowed to marry your sister, your auntie. Where does it say you're not allowed to marry a prepubescent? I'm looking for one verse that you can say, you pinpoint it and say this is where it says prepubescent marriage or whatever is not allowed. So if you're Quran alone, you're steered towards pedophilia, and a severe type of pedophilia, a wife abuse, a severe type of wife abuse.
Well, to Muhammad Hijab's credit, he's talking to, I believe, to Quran onlyists. Quran onlyists are people who do not believe in the hadiths or any other external scriptures. They are a minority of people. And this is what he's trying to explain. If you just take this Quran verse as it is, it's okay for you to do what he just finished explaining. This is what the Quran brings out, and what's crazy to me is that Muhammad Hijab doesn't see anything wrong with it. But let's continue.
Sure. According to Islamic law.
Do you know what precocious puberty is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what is it?
It means starting puberty unusually early, like beyond averages.
Is there anything in Islam that prevents you from, a man marrying a 5-year-old that started precocious puberty?
No, marriage can happen, you can arrange a marriage even as an infant, but that doesn't mean that sex is allowed.
But could a man have a marriage to a 5-year-old consummated if she started precocious puberty?
If she starts showing signs of physical maturity, then yes, that's permissible, as I stated. That's
What about
the
age
principle.
4?
If there are signs
3.
of, so this is something that becomes biologically impossible because precocious
I have a
puberty,
study
there are
that shows
no.
it goes as early as 11 months.
All right, well, that's something that the parents would not. See, the thing about Islamic marriage is that parents are involved at these ages. And when you look at the marriage of the Prophet, peace be upon him, to Aisha, her parents.
That's Daniel Hakikachu. If you look really, really, really close, he has a very fitting laptop. It says Predator.
Allow my daughter to marry a 9-year-old. You know why not? The way we've been raised. Can I just make a point? You asked me, would I allow my daughter to get married at 9? I'm saying the analogy is wrong. Because our teachers teach us the woman has to be sexually, mentally, and physically ready. That means if my daughter, if my daughter wants to menstruation, hold on, let me finish. If my daughter reached the age of menstruation at 9 years old, I would say you are ready. You are ready to get married. However, it's forbidden for me to force her. If she says, Dad, I don't want.
And he's proud of it. This reminds me of when Jesus said, if you lead any one of these young ones astray, it's better if you had a millstone tied around your neck. And I'm like, yeah. There are little girls all around the world right now, in the Muslim world right now, who are being sold off to old men, who are being raped by old men. Little girls who would have rather want to grow up to be teachers, doctors, lawyers, anything. Maybe also one day be married by a normal age, you know? But what do you expect? They follow a man named Muhammad, who, by the way, said the following. I had a dream of Aisha and she's small, she baby. And I said, if it's Allah's will, she will be my wife. Like, hello, creepy. Why didn't his father kick him? Why did her father just kick him out of the house right at that time? But he already had people brainwashed that he was a prophet. Okay? So, I want to marry you since you were a baby. And when you were 6 years old, I marry you. And then, when she was 9, he climbed on top of her and raped her. This is the perfect pattern of conduct that Muslims claim. And I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have some Muslims down in the comment section. Well, they did this in Europe in the 20s and this over here and back in ancient Europe, like ancient Rome. Here's the thing. These people never claimed to be prophets sent from God. These people, nobody ever said they were the perfect conduct for all humanity and how people should emulate them. When we see people that do wrong, we will say they did wrong. Now, your prophet is claimed to be that thing. You have to emulate them. Emulate the things that he does because he did. It's okay. You know, he's perfect. Last prophet. Seal of the prophets. And I gotta watch my language. So, IP's debate with Hakikachu is in the description if you want to watch the whole thing. I would recommend, if you have small children in the house, for you to listen to it with earphones on. I don't believe it's a debate for little children to hear. And I'll see you guys next time. God bless.